Reflecting on 9/11 is an exhibition space that's really dealing with what 9/11 means today. We always knew that the museum could just be about the history, just about, say, the first year after 9/11, but that the conversations and the controversies, the ways in which people talk and think about 9/11 is so important that we wanted to capture and play a productive role in conversations about what the topic means today. And so what we did was create a space called Reflecting on 9/11 and a series of questions, almost unanswerable questions about 9/11. Questions like, how could 9/11 have happened? Or what do you hope that politicians would learn from 9/11? Or even, and I'm paraphrasing here, how do you balance national security with personal freedom? And we took those questions and we asked them from politicians, stakeholders, family members, so everyone from Bill Clinton to Donald Rumsfeld to Colin Powell, members of the White House, first responders, people inside of 9/11. And then we also asked visitors the exact same question. We have a recording booth that's exactly like the booths that we use for all the films themselves, and you can go in and answer the question yourself, and it's interlaced with a Bill Clinton or Colin Powell. So it's essentially this big reflection on what 9/11 means today.
Seeing the development of the site, though it's taken such a long time, is really comforting, I think, and I hope that it is, and the members of the families that I've been able to meet find it that way, and that's our greatest concern. And that, you know, life has to move on. We just can't keep this empty space. We have to fill it, and that's what happens with loss. Something else has to grow from it.
The fact was the survivors had felt this internal need, a need to take care of the families of those we lost, because we needed to show their families how much we loved the people we lost. And I think that is the most important thing to me that I learned that I would never have known before, which is the people you work with, while you may not say it, matter so very much to your life, because if they were all gone, your workplace was gone, and everybody you worked with was killed, right? You would cry just like I did, because you loved them.
We should never forget what our first responders do for us. You know, sometimes I worry that in our society we value the wrong things. And if you are in trouble, if you need help, you know, the people who are there are the people who were lost in the attack, but the people who kept coming back every single day.
In response to a question like that in a press conference one time in the Pentagon, I said, you know, there are known knowns, the things we know. There are known unknowns, the things we know we don't know. But there are also unknown unknowns, the things we don't know we don't know. And it is, to me, a surprise that we continue to be surprised. We ought to recognize that the world is a big place, it's complicated, we can't know everything, and that there will be surprises.
My own sense is that they are working. They are, in some instances, still controversial. Certainly in New York, so much of what the NYPD has attempted to do in improving their capabilities is continually being challenged, but we live in a democracy, and that's the way it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to operate in secrecy.
I didn't understand the direct impact of America's policies on the rest of the world. And that understanding has changed in many ways. It has developed, it has evolved. And I think what I have learned is that America has a lot of strength and power that, you know, it can exercise, and it does exercise, but perhaps maybe we need to do it more diplomatically.
I always had this perhaps naive belief that most people are curious about Americans, at least, and in best, you know, admire Americans and want to befriend them. And, you know, that seems kind of naive now. And you know, I think things that maybe were below the surface or maybe I was just blind to are much more apparent to me. And so I'm answering this on a very personal level. And yeah, I mean, I really do look at the world differently. Not in a real cynical way, not more pessimistic, I just think in a much more realistic way.